boys and girls. Mrs. Dells Reyes here. We're going to talk about telling time. Have you ever been asked, hey, do you know what time it is? And then you look at the clock and you have no idea what to say. Well, today I'm going to show you how to do it. First, I'm going to talk about two different types of clocks you might look at. One is called an analog clock, and it looks like this. Another clock you might see is a digital clock, and that looks like this. So there are two different clocks you can look at whenever somebody asks you, hey, do you know what time it is? So let's talk about the analog clock first. The analog clock has numbers going all around it. It also has hands. So there's this shorthand that tells the hour, and the long hand that tells you the minute. Another clock you might see is a digital clock. Looks like that. On a digital clock, it doesn't have numbers going all the way around. It has numbers going across. It also has two dots called a colon. The first number will tell you the hour, and the numbers after the colon will tell you the minutes. I'm going to show you how to tell time to the hour using the analog clock first. So, say that you look at a clock, and it looks like this. The minute hand is on the 12, and this short hour hand is on the 7. The short hand is what you say first, with whatever number it's pointing to. And whenever the long hand is pointing to the 12, you say o'clock. So this time would be called 7 o'clock. Now when time keeps going, the minute hand goes and goes and goes. Well, wrong way. I'll go this way. And then it hits the 12 again. Now the hour hand moved. It moved from the 7 to the 8. So since the shorthand is the hour, we say that first. So this is going to be called 8, and the minute hand is pointing to the 12, you say o'clock. So this time says 8 o'clock. Let's do another one with my friend. So I'm going to show my friend a time, and she's going to tell me what time it is. All right, here we go. All right, can you tell me what time it is? I would love to explain. So the shorthand is on the 10, and the long hand is on the 12. So that must mean it's 10 o'clock. That's right. Excellent job. Let's do another one. What time does this say? On this one, the shorthand is on the 2, and the long hand is on the 12. So that must mean that, oh yeah, I said the hour first, so it's 2 o'clock. Awesome. You did it. Great job. Now let's tell the time using a digital clock. Remember, when we're telling time with a digital clock, it looks like this. The hour comes before the colon, and the minutes come after the colon. And the colon is the two dots that are stacked up on top of each other. So we always say the hour first. So this time says 7 for the hour. And it has 2 zeros on the side. Whenever we say 2 zeros that are after the colon, we say o'clock. So this time says 7 o'clock. Let's try another one. I changed the 7 to an 11. And if somebody asks you, hey, what time is it? You'll say the hour first, and that's the number before the colon. You'll say 11, and you'll see the 2 zeros, and you'll know when you see the 2 zeros on a digital clock, you say o'clock. So the time is 11 o'clock. I'm gonna get my friend to tell the time with us for the next one. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. What time does this say? For this one, the 2 comes before the colon and the 2 zeros come after the colon. So it says 2 o'clock. You're right. It says 2 o'clock. Good job. Okay, let's do another one. Are you ready? What time does this say? Here, the number 4 comes first, and then the 2 zeros are after the colon, and the 2 zeros mean o'clock. So that time says 4 o'clock. You're right. It says 4 o'clock. Nice job. All right, boys and girls. Now we're going to match up the digital clock and the analog clock to say the same time. So, for example, our digital clock says 4 o'clock here. What would the analog clock say? Sure, I can show you 4 o'clock. Here, the shorthand's pointing to the 3, so I need it to point to the 4, and the long hand needs to point to the 12. That shows 4 o'clock. That's right. Let's try a different one. Okay, I'll change the hour on this one. Now it says 7 o'clock. Make the analog clock match. Yeah, I can show you that time. When the shorthand points to the 7 and the long hand points to the 12, that says 7 o'clock. She got it right. Awesome job. Okay, boys and girls. So your job is to match the analog time that I give you, and you draw out the digital time. There's going to be 5 problems. And your digital clock doesn't have to be fancy like mine. It could just be a rectangle around it. Okay? Have fun. I can't wait to see your videos. Bye. Pause the video here to really take a close look at the analog clocks and then write the digital time. There's only 4 problems here, so your 5th one will be your own clock. Have fun!